NSC Fan TV, Drew here with Emma.
Yeah.
A 2-2 with late 2 on their end draw against Orlando.
Maddie.
And Emma's got thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, this was pretty terrible especially on Nashville's part. We can talk about the referee all night long. We can blame it outwards, but honestly, if you don't keep your lineup when you're 2-0 up and you keep messing with the ball like that, you don't keep the ball up, eventually bad stuff is going to happen to you.
You know, 2-0, the most dangerous score in football, right? I mean, you get slacking up, let the line go, you let weird stuff happen.
I don't know.
And I think, honestly, I personally am mad at the referee. I think it was inconsistent all game, but I think you have a point. That was notwithstanding, we still were putting ourselves in weird positions. And especially in the second half, we dropped back to 5 and left the midfield completely open. And I think I don't know what you think about that, but I think the midfield was
No, the midfield was a
empty.
mess. The midfield was a mess all game long. You had Mukhtar very far away from Godoy the whole game.
Yeah.
You had a huge gaping hole right there in the middle. There was no connection in any phase of the midfield. But what was especially worrying is that they were all too ready to give up the ball and to not press up and to not try to get it back.
I think another thing too, in the second half especially, is that Sapong was on empty. I think he ran his legs off for the first 45, and it meant that in the second half he didn't get subbed on quickly enough, or subbed off for Cadiz. But the problem is, as I've mentioned before, and maybe people are aware at this point, Cadiz, he loves to just sit offside. So
Cadiz might not be a football player or a soccer player or any of that. He just needs to get the ball high in the right position.
He's that tall,
and he will hold it for you.
Yeah.
But if you don't throw them to him, if you don't try to get the ball out of your 40, out of your 50, you won't just get possession. So if you just let them come at you.
So maybe we rely a bit too much on Johnson and Lovitz on the wing, so that when they drop back, now the midfield is a mess. There's no connection between the midfield and the forwards.
Yeah.
And
who's supposed? So, in your opinion, who's supposed to bring the ball up in that lineup?
Who's in the lineup? That's the problem, because you have to drop back when things get dicey.
It should be Dax, right?
In theory, it would be, but he has to drop back too. So he's trying to cover for the fact that Zimmerman's maybe going forward, the fact that the midfield is sort of a mess. So it would be Godoy, except I think Godoy gives the ball away quite a bit. So it's hard for him to get the ball forward when he just gives the ball away. When 14 just absolutely decimates him. That was hardly a juke, but.
So I think what we're learning today is that the referee got us a great alibi for dropping this, but if we want to make anything out of this season, anything over and above near playoffs, they need to do better. They can't just blame it on the referee. That's going to be like whatever we talk about this night, because the referee was a shame, honestly.
Inconsistent. I think that was my biggest issue.
Yeah.
Arguably that wasn't a penalty, and arguably that wasn't a corner. But the situations, we let them get the ball where they needed to get it. So in that sense, we lost already.
Yeah.
It was a tie, but it felt like a loss. So.
Right. So come the playoffs, what's what you want to see?
Come the playoffs, I want to see Lovitz and Johnston not having to drop back, because they're what honestly keep the wings going. And when they have to drop back, I don't know. That's the first thing I want to see. Second thing I want to see offensive subs that actually have some interesting link-up play going forward. That's the second thing I want to see. Now, there's a case to be made for maybe Johnston and Lovitz, not even if they drop back, still there should be some kind of creativity in the midfield. But with the way Gary Smith's got the team organized, it's from the back going forward. It's not built on getting the ball to X person. So.
Right. So it might be that we get Orlando for the playoffs, right?
And it might be that Nani
That's
actually,
realistic.
it might be that Nani and Michelle start and Terrace a new one. I mean, don't forget they didn't start. They didn't come on until what, the 70th minute or something like that, right? And not to even mention BK, who was just tearing us apart the whole time. Honestly,
Right. So we need fresher people. We need a fresh mindset. Do you think that 3 at the back is the way to go?
my thought had been with Zimmerman. 3 in the back is the way to go because he has such a tendency to go forward, try to drop the hammer, especially on headers, because he's so good in the air. But the old dogma 4-4-2 could make a return. With Zimmerman, not so sure. But what do you think?
Oh, I think we, you know, if the aim is to keep the ball running through the fullbacks, then you might have to keep the 3-5-2.
Okay.
But if you want to keep some creativity in the middle, then you might want some more people in there.
Yeah.
Then you might want some more adjusted positions. You might want some more action in the middle. So I really think it's about adjustments, which is after all that playoffs about, right? We give the regular season for whatever it is, and then you get a playoff for adjustments.
Maybe it turns out Cadiz just needed some pressure, right? Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe that's all it'll take.
Yeah. Maybe if we go 4-3-3, right, and you play Sapong and Mukhtar off Cadiz, and
Off Cadiz.
we got us a game. You know?
And maybe, you know what? MLS 4-3-3 MLS forwards. Mukhtar, Sapong, and Leal. Let's see that.
You heard it first.
NSC Fan TV.